Do people still need expos? We can travel freely throughout the world. It's much easier than it used to be. What is the point of it? Humanity is made to see each other, to talk to each other face to face, to touch, to smell, to feel the world, not to look at it through a screen. But they want to experience things. The solution is to be face to face, and it's the only way we can overcome our challenges. The first exhibition was in 1851. It was in London, the Great Exhibition as it was known. It was an idea of bringing together the industrialized nations to show the latest technological developments that were coming throughout the world. In France, in Paris, you had many expos between the 1800s and the early 1900s, and these were very emblematic events, not only emblematic for the theme and the way that they were carrying forward technology, but the fact that they have shaped this city. You see today the Eiffel Tower is an icon of France, and it remains from an expo. You see the Grand Palais, Petit Palais, the Trocadero, all this part of Paris has in a sense been molded by its history of world expos. If you look in those times, you will see the Expo of 1937, which I think is very emblematic because it was just before the Second World War, but at the same time, you had two huge structures. One was the pavilion of the Soviet Union, the other was the pavilion of Nazi Germany. They were right opposite each other. When you move past the Second World War, you have 1958. It was the first World Expo to be held after the Second World War. The main icon of this expo was the atomium that you can still see. From there, that Expos decided to take more of a humanistic approach, more of a sustainable approach, and also we slowly moved towards understanding what are the biggest issues that need to be dealt with as a global community. So you have 1970 Osaka, for example. This was also a big moment for Japan because it was, in a sense, the opening of Japan, of the new Japan to the world. After that, we can also look at 1992 Seville, and this was a moment of reintroduction of World Expos for humanity. It was also the opportunity for architects. It was an architectural marvel. You go into the 2000s and you have Shanghai 2010. Again, an opening of China, a country that was very closed and yet invited 189 countries to freely discuss their points of view. We have Dubai 2020 as well. That was a big moment for us because this was overcoming a global pandemic. And now we are at Osaka 2025, the next expo held in the same city that did 1970. And again, I think this is a discovery for many people of the next generation of Japan and to show how the world has evolved as well.
Welcome to the United Nations Pavilion at Expo 2025 in Osaka, Kansai, Japan. The United Nations Pavilion at Expo 2025 was envisaged as a space and a place for visitors from Japan and elsewhere to learn about the organization that this year will turn 80 and the work of the organization that impacts their life today, and a vision of a future whereby they can imagine it to be possible, but that's possible only when we work together. The United Nations was created in 1945, and the first World Expo that the UN took part in was the one in 1949 in Haiti. And I think as a new organization at the time, World Expos were the place to be, were the place where innovations, new ideas would be showcased. And the UN has been participating in World Expos ever since then, mostly through specialized agencies, funds and programs, because every expo has a different theme. An expo is focused on food, like the one in Milan. In 2010, the theme of Expo was housing and habitat and cities, and UN Habitat was in the lead.
Expos have understood problems cannot be solved just by one person or one country. You need a united effort to be able to solve the biggest challenges. In 1994, the BA General Assembly even approved a resolution to follow the big UN agendas that were coming out, to try and understand from the United Nations what was coming and what Expo should be focusing on. And you can see that very much today. You can see it how Expos have become all about sustainable development, about what are the challenges that we have to solve. And it is this opportunity of bringing together the global community in order to be able to reflect and work on solutions for these challenges.
Expos are still important. Millions of people visit, and I think as an organization that hopes to reach the widest possible audience, it's important to be an expo. We bring in ideas, we bring in proof that collaboration works, that multilateralism has yielded results. What we have seen from visitors who come to the UN Pavilion is the message of hope. People are elated. I have seen people move to tears. Young children who get excited and coming out and talking about the SDGs. We can get to that world, we can achieve the SDGs by working together.